Tonight, construction consternation.
We needed this, but at the same time, we can see that it is affecting us.
The effect road construction is having on businesses in Old St. Vital and how much longer it might last. Also tonight, calling foul in St. Andrews.
Just not right, and it's putting kids in the middle.
The goal is new soccer pitches, but land disputes put the play in question. Plus, class of 2025.
This graduation will be the day that I was waiting for a long time.
Soon-to-be adult graduates reflect on what made them decide to return to the classroom.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. They say there are two seasons in Winnipeg, winter and construction. Well, the snow is long gone and we are now in the height of construction season. Roads around the city have been blocked off so crews can do a variety of projects. And one project in particular is drawing the ire of local businesses and residents, a road revamp on St. Anne's Road. Joining us now with more on this is CTV's John Hendricks. John, why is this project getting so much attention?
Well, the length of it, for one, Marilee, it's scheduled to go roughly 20 weeks or 5 months. And because the work is happening on both sides of the road, well, the disruption is just amplified. There's a lot of activity going on in the kitchen at the Van Sy restaurant, but it's the exact opposite in their dining room.
A lot of our customers are a lot of older generations, and they have a harder time finding parking.
Harder because of a massive pavement renewal project on St. Anne's Road scheduled to last for 20 weeks. The work has reduced traffic to one lane on both sides of the street. That's taken away all the parking in front of the restaurant and other area businesses.
Pretty much daily, at least half of our clients and our practitioners and staff have to call in and say, I will be quite a bit late.
Everybody's struggling, and the construction is not helping at all.
Mandy Pepe, the executive director of the Old St. Vital Biz, says while businesses agree the roads need to be repaired, many question the city's approach to it. Could they not do one section at a time? And if not,
a lot of businesses are asking for some type of, something from the city, maybe, a break on their taxes or something.
In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the city writes, "We do not provide compensation to businesses affected by construction. In 2023, we conducted a survey of major Canadian cities to investigate their practices regarding potential compensation related to business loss during road construction. None of the cities had a universal compensation program." But even if help isn't coming from the city, some Winnipeggers are coming to the aid of Van Sy Restaurant. A social media post about the construction-related problems has led to an increase in takeout orders.
It was almost like the pandemic all over again. We survived that. Now I'm sure we can survive this. So I'm just...
Now, the total budget for this project is $5.8 million, and the work is expected to be ending in the fall.
John, is there anything the city can do to help businesses in the area out during this construction?
Yeah, the city says that they're definitely willing to work with any businesses now that the work is underway and see if they can troubleshoot to try to fix any problems that may have been unanticipated before the project began. All those businesses just asked to contact the city.
All right, thanks for this, John. More cottage areas and campgrounds are reopening as the province says the wildfire danger has dropped across most of the province. As of tomorrow at 9 a.m., residents and cottage owners will be allowed to return to Schiss Lake, Big Island Lake, and Little Atha Papaskow. Baker's Narrows Provincial Park will remain open at the same time for residents, cottagers, and commercial operators. However, overnight and seasonal camping will remain closed until at least July 11th. In Nopaming Provincial Park, the Birds Lake Campground will stay closed until at least July 10th. The province says Talabi Falls needs a considerable amount of cleanup and won't reopen until early August. Black Lake, Beresford Lake and Shoe Lake won't reopen at all this season. And officials say anyone who was planning backcountry trips in Nopaming this summer should change their plans. Some 4,800 evacuees from Flin Flon are set to begin returning home Wednesday morning. As well, there are currently 18 active wildfires in Manitoba, 7 fewer than yesterday. Meanwhile, firefighters in northwestern Ontario have a massive wildfire under control. Ontario Forest Fires posted on social media a fire named Kenora 20, which started near Ingolf, west of Kenora, is now under control. The fire started May 12th and burned through thousands of hectares of forest, prompting evacuation warnings in eastern Manitoba. The Post says the fire is now contained with the help of some recent rainfall and also thanks to the hundreds of personnel who helped bring the fire under control. St. Andrews Soccer Association says players are being left on the sidelines after getting the boot from its fields. The pitches are located in the middle of St. Andrews Airport. The airport needs the space for an expansion and says it was never meant to be a permanent home for kids soccer. Standing by with the details tonight is CTV's Jeff Keel. Jeff, is there anywhere else for these teams to play soccer?
The association says no. This is putting soccer in jeopardy for 320 kids, and they're lobbying the RM of St. Andrews at a council meeting for help. But the mayor of St. Andrews says a deal is in place nearby for kids to continue playing. Youth soccer teams in St. Andrews are getting kicked off their pitches, and the association says they have no field to land on.
Just kind of mind-blowing.
Since 2009, the St. Andrews Soccer Association has been allowed to host games for kids at this location, in the middle of the local airport. But in March, the airport, which is owned by the RM, said it needs the space to expand and told the association 2026 would be the last season it could use the fields for soccer and their 320 players.
To receive the boot because of politics between the airport and the RM, it's just not right.
In a statement, the airport says it's the 9th busiest in Canada and needs the expansion for aviation purposes, adding the area is not zoned for recreation and soccer was always a temporary use. The decision was made to delay the development of that area for 2 years to allow ample time for soccer to find a new home. The Soccer Association is calling on St. Andrews Council to help them because it claims the RM failed to move ahead with plans to build public soccer fields.
We need a permanent solution, or at the bare minimum, an extension of our airport lease so that we have certainty going into next season that we're not going off a cliff and community soccer will be dying in St. Andrews.
But Mayor Joyce Sewell says there is a solution. A private business is spending more than $4 million on soccer fields nearby, and there is a deal in place for public access once they open.
Council ensured that there is in the lease agreement with them that 20% of the time be allowed for residents of St. Andrews. And we fully support the kids.
The association says that's not enough to meet their demands.
It's also a business. They run programming the same times as us over the same season. You physically cannot have 2 soccer games happening on the same pitches at the same time.
Mayor Joyce Sewell also says she doesn't believe the airport is a proper place for the soccer fields as they have had security issues recently.
So, Jeff, what permanent solution is the Soccer Association calling for?
Yeah, the Soccer Association says the RM could build public fields next to the private ones as there is room to do so. The mayor says that is something council could look at as that site was always meant for soccer and baseball.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. A warning tonight about a sex offender who was released from jail and is considered a high risk to reoffend. The Manitoba Integrated High Risk Sex Offender Unit says Winston George Thomas was released from Headingley Correctional Center today. He's now on probation and is expected to live in Winnipeg. He has a lengthy criminal record, including sexual assault against a 13-year-old girl, assaulting a police officer with a weapon, and assault by choking. Police say the 48-year-old is a high risk to reoffend. If you have any information about Thomas, you should call the Manitoba Integrated High Risk Sex Offender Unit at the number on your screen. You can also contact Winnipeg Police, your local RCMP detachment, or Crime Stoppers. Thousands of students are graduating high school this week, and for some, it's better late than never. Tonight, we are celebrating the inspirational grads-to-be from the Winnipeg Adult Education Center. And as CTV's Daniel Helmerson shows you, among them are newcomers and one high school dropout who's risen to the top of her class.
for others and make us less likely to judge those who walk the path less traveled.
Zoe McKay's rehearsing a speech she never thought she'd write. She's valedictorian for the Winnipeg Adult Education Centre's class of 2025.
I think I would have probably laughed if you told me this would happen at some point. I am kind of in disbelief. It's really exciting.
It's a big change for the 28-year-old who dropped out of high school more than a decade ago.
I wasn't able to make that a priority at the time, which was always a huge regret of mine.
McKay is among the 150 or so mature students who will cross this stage Thursday to receive their diploma.
It's important here in Canada also. It opens everything. While you want to go for university, college, or you want to work.
Many of the grads to be are new to Canada after fleeing war-torn countries like Eritrea and Ukraine.
I had to upgrade my credits to learn English, to become more fluent in English, and also to finish my grade 12 courses to be able to enter the university.
The school's principal says adult learners may come from different backgrounds and circumstances.
Talk about complicated lives. So a lot of our students have children. They work full time.
But Dino Di Fabrizio adds these students all share a common goal.
They come in with such great intentions on what they could potentially do, and it's inspirational watching them make this walk and take this journey.
And they have some advice for people who haven't started that journey yet.
After you take the first step, and then the other steps will just continue by themselves. So just take the first step.
Don't be scared of change. Change can give you the ability to transform your circumstances and take agency over your path going forward. Just jump into the great unknown and see what happens.
Daniel Halmerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
All right, Colleen Brady joins us now for a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. And for the grads celebrating tonight, the weather is perfect.
It is. Now, there's still the risk of thunderstorms yet early this evening. We had one that zipped through Winnipeg very quickly right around 5 o'clock. We saw the temperature drop about 7 degrees in the midst, only to see the temperature start to rebound again. But thunderstorms not just here. Where we don't want to see them is moving through the Whiteshell and Provincial Park areas, and that's right where they've moved through. It does look like these storms are non-severe, but of course, while rain or showers even are welcomed in those areas, lightning strikes are not. Further north, a little bit of light rain came through the 1 o'clock hour around Flin Flon. Dry there now. There's a risk of thunderstorms in that community tonight. Further north, around the wildfire in the Lynn Lake area, an air quality warning is in effect for that region. More on all of that coming up and a look ahead to the rest of the week. Let's take a look right now, though, through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg, after that thunderstorm zipped through the city, it is 25 degrees and cloudy. It feels like 27 with the Humidex. Winds 19 kilometers an hour coming from the west-southwest. The pressure is falling, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 48%.
Thanks, Colleen. There was a sizable police presence at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights this afternoon. This was the scene just a few hours ago around 3 o'clock. Several cruisers could be seen blocking traffic in both directions in front of the building, and officers could be seen walking about or going in and out of the building. A police spokesperson would only say they were there for suspicious circumstances. Officers cleared out, and the street was reopened not long after. 2 boys are recovering from serious injuries tonight following a collision involving a semi in southern Manitoba. It happened Monday morning on Highway 244 between Rathwell and Notre Dame. RCMP say the 2 were making a left turn across the highway in a utility vehicle when they were hit from behind by a semi which had pulled out to pass. A teenage boy was airlifted to hospital in critical condition, while another boy was taken to hospital in serious condition. Both have since been upgraded to stable. The driver of the semi was uninjured. The family of a murdered Indigenous woman is looking for more support for victims' families navigating the criminal justice system. Today at Central Park, family and friends gathered to remember Ashley Isabella Murdoch. The woman from Fisher River and Jackhead First Nation was killed last year. Her body was found a day before her 29th birthday in an apartment on Kennedy Street. Numerous people are facing charges in the homicide, resulting in many court appearances. For Murdoch's family, it means reliving the trauma every time they go to court. Murdoch's mother is calling for more support.
Apparently there's supports out there, so where are they? That's where I'm asking. Bring help already. stop this already. Stop the families that are survivors. They're hurting.
Today's march stopped at the building where Murdoch's body was found. Murdoch's mother says even though her body isn't there anymore, she wanted to honor her daughter's soul. The province is launching a new program it says will help Manitobans save money on their energy bills.
Ground source heat pumps are among the most efficient way to heat and cool our homes.
The Affordable Home Energy Program offers options, including ones with no upfront cost to cover the installation of heat pumps for eligible homeowners. Efficiency Manitoba says this could save people between $300 and $1,000 a year on their energy bill.
The bill will go down because of the geothermal technology is a more efficient source, and that monthly payment will be less than what those savings are.
Efficiency Manitoba says it will provide a net savings for homeowners. The program is expected to cost around $10 million annually. There are around 40 certified installers in the province. Contact Efficiency Manitoba if you'd like more information. Boeing Canada is showing off a cool new expansion at its Winnipeg facility. It includes a massive 7,000 square foot freezer. Boeing officials cut the ribbon today to officially open the $20 million expansion. So why does a factory that makes airplane parts need a giant freezer? Well, the resin-filled carbon fiber used to make the parts needs to be stored at minus 23 degrees Celsius. It's thawed just before production begins. This new freezer doubles the site's capacity, allowing the plant to produce more parts for Boeing's commercial aircraft fleet.
This is the largest advanced composite manufacturing facility in Canada. The team is highly experienced, so this investment really is about the future. It's about leveraging the talents of this team to be able to build really important components for a commercial aircraft.
Boeing Canada's president expects 44,000 aircraft will be required in the global market over the next 20 years. This is Boeing's 5th expansion since the Winnipeg facility opened in 1971. An alarming amount of sewage spilled into Winnipeg rivers last year, enough to fill the Pan Am pool more than 4,800 times. More than 12 billion liters of raw sewage was discharged into the Red and Assiniboine rivers in 2024. That's according to the latest report from the city's Water, Waste and Environment Committee. 1,332 separate incidents occurred over the year. The city is pointing to precipitation as the main cause. Still to come tonight, Trump warns Israel and Iran to keep the peace.
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back.
The latest as U.S. President Donald Trump tries to hold a shaky ceasefire together. Plus, NATO is expected to more than double the spending target for members. How much would it actually cost Canada? Those stories just ahead. The annual pace of inflation held steady at 1.7% last month. The removal of the consumer carbon tax continues to drive down prices at the pumps, but grocery prices rose 3.3% annually in May. Manitoba's rate was slightly higher than the national average at 1.9%, the second highest behind British Columbia. Stats Canada says slower increases in shelter costs such as rent and mortgages were a big factor in keeping inflation lower. The next interest rate decision will be made July 30th. Turning to the markets now, crude oil lost $4.14. The loonie rose to 72.93 cents U.S. Gold futures plunged $61. The TSX closed 109 points higher. The Dow Jones jumped 507 points, while the Nasdaq added 281 points. A Winnipeg man is facing charges after a man was stabbed during an attempted vehicle theft in western Manitoba. RCMP say it happened early in the morning Saturday in the RM of Mountain. The victim heard someone outside and went to investigate. The pair struggled and he was stabbed. He was brought to hospital, treated and released. Mounties caught up with the suspect in the community of Bellsite after reports someone was trying to steal from vehicles there. A 34-year-old Winnipeg man is facing several charges. Automobile giant Ford is recalling about 32,000 of its Mach-E electric vehicles in Canada. There's a risk of a fault that could potentially trap passengers inside. The models in the recall are the 2021 to 2025 Mustang Mach-E midsize SUVs. The reason? A low battery charge could cause the vehicle's electric door latches to remain locked once the driver or front passenger exits and shuts their door. This could lead to backseat passengers unable to unlock their doors and being trapped inside. Ford says there's no reports of any injuries related to this issue, but a software update is in the works. Tonight, the U.S. president says the Israel-Iran ceasefire he arranged is back in effect. After a shaky start, the truce seems to be holding after a furious Donald Trump lashed out at both countries and using some colorful language to make his point. CTV's Joy Melvin has more from Washington.
After brokering a fragile ceasefire, the U.S. president visibly angry and let the F word fly.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Sending a message to warring nations, Israel and Iran, to knock it off.
I think they both violated it. I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it.
After agreeing to Donald Trump's ceasefire overnight, the Israeli army struck hard at Iranian government targets, including a radar site north of Tehran. And Israel says it struck back too, after Iranian missiles had been fired in the south, killing 4 Israelis. The president trying to hold this truce together, telling reporters he was firm, demanding Israel's prime minister bring back its planes and stop the bombing.
Tired of it. I think they don't want it to happen again. And Iran's not going to have a nuclear weapon, by the way. I think it's the last thing on their mind right now.
After the U.S. bombed 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities deep underground and days of Israeli strikes on nuclear targets, Iran has been weakened. But how far has Tehran nuclear ambitions been set back?
Is there any highly enriched uranium left? And are there any of these centrifuges left as well? That's a big question.
And an early U.S. intelligence report suggests that America's bunker-busting bombs may not have destroyed Iran's nuclear sites. This is at odds with the president, who insists they were completely obliterated. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Meanwhile, more than 100 Canadians are scheduled to leave Jordan tonight on a government-chartered flight. It's part of ongoing efforts to assist those who want to escape fighting in the region.
As of today, we have helped over 500 Canadians in the region. We've deployed additional consular services throughout the region.
Canada is also helping allied nations get their citizens out of the Middle East, but the number of foreign nationals asking for help is minimal compared to the number of Canadians. There's also ground transportation available to help get Canadians out of Israel to a neighboring country. And Global Affairs has deployed more consular assistance to the region. Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived in the Netherlands today ahead of the NATO Leaders Summit, where the conflict in the Middle East and Russia's invasion of Ukraine will be at the top of the agenda. Canada will also face calls to commit to a new spending target just weeks after reaching the current level. CTV's Jeremy Sharon is in The Hague with the latest.
An historic NATO summit now underway in the Netherlands. Prime Minister Mark Carney joining all 32 alliance members in The Hague.
Thank you personally for your
meeting with many today for bilateral meetings.
handshake. Okay, very good.
The summit set to focus on a new defense investment plan aimed at increasing NATO's collective readiness.
And it's important to be clear what we are potentially, and I think likely to all agree tomorrow, which is, and let's take the 5% of GDP figure, which is a big, big number.
That figure would become the new baseline defense spending target. 3.5% would be core defense spending and another 1.5% on defense-related infrastructure investments. The increase would cost Canada tens of billions more a year.
How much is it actually for you?
5% of our GDP would be about $150 billion.
I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot of numbers.
Per year?
Per year.
But a timeline to get to it is the next big question. And Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says it will be an important part of the conversation.
And one of the dates that is being proposed is 2029, and we like to see steps along the way where there can be a re-examination of whether this is the right approach.
But Canada arrives at the summit having only just committed to meet the current 2% target this fiscal year. And some suggest Carney's government has work to do to re-establish Canada's reputation on the issue.
Canada's credibility collectively and the Canadian reputation that Mr. Carney inherited when he became Prime Minister is far from great on this issue.
An official decision on increasing the alliance's defense spending commitment will come tomorrow, when all 32 member nations sit down for the summit's main meeting, where support for Ukraine is on the agenda too. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, The Hague.
Manitoba's trade office in Washington is officially open. The office is being headed up by Richard Madden, a journalist who spent several years as a White House correspondent for various Canadian news networks, including CTV. The D.C. office has a mandate to develop trade relationships with lawmakers, industry leaders, and others to further Manitoba's interests. Premier Wab Kinew announced plans for the trade office back in December in light of the threat posed by U.S. tariffs. It's being called a new icon in Toronto's skyline. A banner unfurled today on what will be Canada's first super tall building. The designation became official this morning when construction at 1 Bloor West surpassed the 300-meter mark in height. Once complete at 85 stories, it will be the tallest residential building and the second tallest human-made structure in the country after the CN Tower. It's hot south of the border. How hot? So hot, the roads are buckling in dramatic fashion in some cities. We will tell you where just ahead.
It'll be warm here too, but likely we won't see that happen. 25 and sunny on Thursday, up to 28 on Friday. It does come with the risk of thunderstorms, otherwise a mix of sun and cloud. Sunny Saturday, once again up to 28, 26 on Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud with a low chance of showers. Drier Monday, 26 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud.
Two former Winnipeggers have been named to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Duncan Keith is a three-time Stanley Cup winner, two-time Olympic gold medalist, and two-time Norris Trophy winner, as well as the NHL's top defenseman in a 17-year career. He played for the Chicago Blackhawks between 2005 and 2021 before a one-year stint with the Oilers. Also making the cut, Jennifer Botterill. She was a member of 3 gold medal winning Olympic teams and won MVP at the 2011 IIHF Women's World Championships. Winnipeg is hosting the 2025 Grey Cup Festival and game this November, but to make sure it all runs smoothly, the team is looking for a bit of help. The Grey Cup Festival needs 1,000 to 2,000 volunteers to support the range of outdoor and indoor events being planned. Shifts will be available from November 9th through to the 17th. Volunteers provide transportation support, public services, game day assistance, and more. Each volunteer will receive an exclusive jacket, a t-shirt, toque, and snacks, as well as an invitation to the wind-up celebration. You can complete the volunteer application on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers website. Keep in mind there is a $100 plus GST fee to apply.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back now with your complete Skywatch forecast. How's that thunderstorm threat looking at this point?
Well, they're still moving those thunderstorms through the provincial parks and into northwestern Ontario. The threat is not done with us just yet. Let's put it that way for much of southern Manitoba and parts of the north as well. The reason being some low pressure that moved into Manitoba today. That's the main culprit. But as you can see, we have these thunderstorms that are continuing to push through those provincial parks. And again, the rain, of course, welcomed. The lightning strikes are not, but they are non-severe thunderstorms at this point, but they are pushing further east into northwestern Ontario. So places like Kenora up into the Red Lake area, be on the lookout for those storms headed your way. Up in the north tonight with those wildfires continuing to burn there was a little bit of rain that came through the Flin Flon area during the 1 o'clock hour this afternoon. Dry since then, but really across much of this entire area in the northwest pushing into north central regions. There is the risk of thunderstorms as well, at least this evening, but that risk will diminish in the coming hours. Now, Environment Canada also has an air quality warning in effect for the Lynn Lake area, related, of course, to the wildfire near that community. Actually, air quality had improved earlier, but there is a surface ridge of high pressure over the province that's essentially helping to keep some of that smoke sort of trapped, if you will. But it looks like once the next low pressure system moves through that area on Thursday, there will be some improvement there. As for the night ahead, again, for the next couple of hours or so, there's still that risk of thunderstorms across the south into northwestern Ontario and back through some of those wildfire affected areas in the north. But once we get a little later on into the night, a lot of areas will clear, but some areas in a scattered fashion, which I'll show you, could see some fog develop overnight. That's not the expectation for Winnipeg or the Red River Valley. Wednesday will be another day a lot like today, not quite as warm. Temperatures getting into the low 20s across the south. You can see fairly clear, at least the sky conditions across central and northern regions, but of course contending in a lot of those areas with localized smoke. So here comes that next low pressure system Thursday morning that should bring some more rain to the northwest, which should hopefully help there. So for tonight, there is still that risk of thunderstorms, at least early this evening. Beyond that, partly cloudy. We drop down to 12 degrees. Winds out of the north at 15 kilometers an hour. Lighter northeast winds for the commute tomorrow. Will be a cloudy day for most of the day. 15 degrees in the morning, 24 in the afternoon. Now, if we're lucky, very late in the day, some of that cloud might break up. The UV index for tomorrow for Wednesday over the city is 7 or high. Up into the northwest, we go for the night ahead. Fairly clear conditions for most areas. Overnight lows between 8 and 9. 5 overnight in Thompson. Sunny there tomorrow with a high of 22 degrees. In the northwest tonight, partly cloudy to start, but clearing skies overnight. Temperatures around 7-8 degrees. Sunny and windy through Flin Flon in the Pas tomorrow, 21-22 degrees. In the southwest tonight, watch for fog around Dauphin and Swan River overnight. Brandon down to 9. Cloudy in Brandon tomorrow, 23 degrees. Dauphin, more of a mix of sun and cloud. Same temperature, 23. In the southeast tonight, Winnipeg and the surrounding regions, best chance of thunderstorms is up around Barons River. Still a risk, though, yet for a couple of hours. Otherwise, partly cloudy. We drop to around 12 degrees and then 24 for high for Winnipeg tomorrow. Similar around the rest of the region and cloudy. Watch for fog overnight in Kenora and Dryden. Mix of sun and cloud in those areas tomorrow with highs of 23 degrees. Our first weather photo is from Pete. This is some beautiful morning reflection up in Fisher River, Manitoba. And this next photo back here in Winnipeg, taken from Carrie Lynn's perspective in St. James, looking out at that Assiniboine Park footbridge. Email us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca. Some cities across the U.S. are feeling the heat this week. In Missouri, it was so hot, the roads buckled. This video shows the road shifting and folding just as a car was driving over it, briefly sending it airborne. Officials say the extreme heat is to blame, with several roads in the state showing cracks or damage. Extreme heat alerts are in place in several U.S. cities, with places like Boston, New York, and Philadelphia already breaking records. Coming up, getting kids with mobility issues moving.
Within about 6 months, he was walking upwards of a kilometer.
Meet the Canadian robotics company aiming to give people as much freedom as possible. That's next. As many wildfire evacuees start returning home, new research is shedding a troubling light on the impact wildfires and the smoke from them have on our mental health. A new study examined the relationship between wildfires and mental health-related hospitalizations in Canada, and the findings may surprise you. Joining me now to discuss it is Suday Seberan, an associate professor of environmental economics at the U of M and one of the study's authors. So good to speak with you tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
First, maybe give us an idea of what you learned in this study. Just how do wildfires impact our mental health?
This is one of a kind of studies that considered four different channels to study the effect of wildfire, as opposed to previous studies that look at only smoke from wildfires. As climate change is going to intensify the frequency and also intensity of natural disaster, including wildfire, it is very important to recognize the channels in addition to the magnitude of the channels. In this study, my co-author and I, we considered the direct effect of wildfires, including evacuations, and also maybe you are not evacuated, but you are close enough that your business is affected or your amenities affected, and that's why your mental health is destroyed. We also consider and quantify the effect of smoke from wildfire on mental health, and eventually we introduced a new channel that was recognized in psychological paper, but nothing economically, that is called climate anxiety. Maybe you are far away from where the fire is affected, but because you care about climate or because you have a child that has cardiovascular condition at home, that makes your mental health bad. So we included all these channels, and we quantified these effects on mental health related hospitalization in Canada.
I want to talk a little bit about the last point you brought up, because I thought it was interesting. It's not just those in the wildfire zones that are impacted by this. Just how far-reaching are these events, and are certain segments of the population more at risk?
That's a really great question. I want to emphasize that wildfire is very different natural disaster compared to other natural disasters that are going to be a new normal in our era, because the effects are maybe a wildfire. The last wildfire in LA, the smoke went all the way to Japan, so it doesn't matter where you sit down. No matter what, you're affected. In addition, like the climate anxiety channel, there was a Time article in 2023 that for the first time put a number on climate anxiety, and they showed that the Google search for climate anxiety in 2023 was 4,000 times more than the year before. And that's why we thought let's say you are in Halifax, but you have a child that has asthma, and the smoke didn't reach you because of the wind direction, but you care about fires like forest in BC, and that may affect your mental health. So what we did, we looked at the relation between Twitter activities that include #wildfire in Canada, and because we wanted to only capture climate anxiety that are not because of your proximity to fire, but the fact that you are living far away from the fire, but still because of the fire activity you get the anxiety. We excluded only tweets that are 500 kilometers away from where fire is happening, and then we correlate that with number of mental health hospitalization. And it was surprising because the effect is as large as what we see in smoke-related effect.
Very interesting data. Sude, I want to thank you so much for sharing your work with us tonight. It was great speaking with you.
It was my pleasure, and I just want to emphasize that mental health and fire are going to be two very important issues of our few next years, and it's great that we shed light on the research through the media.
Thanks again. A new study shows the extent to which our food and drink is being contaminated by plastic packaging. It was published today in the journal NPJ Science of Food. It shows just opening plastic from items purchased at the grocery store can leave behind micro and nanoplastics. This includes ripping open plastic, unwrapping deli meat, steeping a tea bag, or opening cartons of milk or juice. Experts say it's not yet possible to clean the particles from food, but you can reduce your exposure by switching to glass or stainless steel and avoid putting plastic containers in the microwave or dishwasher. Microplastic research is still quite new, and it's unclear what sort of effect they can have on our bodies. An Ontario-based robotics company is helping kids walk.
I say it's a game changer for our family. It's the best equipment that we have.
He could barely hold his head up 5-6 years ago, and now he's a different beast. He can stand up in the shower with me now. He can do lots of things because he's strong enough to do it.
This pediatric robo-exoskeleton is called Trexo. It helps children who can't walk due to conditions like cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, or spinal cord injuries. Trexo attaches to a walker, learns a child's movements, then helps power each step forward. It's controlled by a tablet and adapts to each child's unique range of movement. The device, which can cost up to $40,000, is now in homes and hospitals in 40 countries. When you get thirsty, many people reach for a glass of water, but Scottish researchers have made a surprising discovery. Researchers from St. Andrews University compared the hydration response of several drinks and found milk is a better option. That's because milk has sugar, fat, and protein, all of which help to slow the emptying of fluid from the stomach and keep hydration happening over a longer period. Milk also has sodium, which acts like a sponge and holds onto water in the body.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Break out your best neon and ripped jeans. Your first look at Rainbow Stage's newest production, Rock of Ages. Plus, where you can catch a free documentary about the struggle for LGBTQ rights in Canada. Spotlight is next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Brett Kissel.
It's an exciting day for theater fans. Winnipeg's Fringe Theater Festival is right around the corner, and today you can buy your tickets. It's the second largest Fringe Theater Festival in North America. Close to 150 performing companies from around the world will take the stage at 26 venues. From July 16th to the 27th, the Winnipeg Fringe Festival will take over Old Market Square with street performers, food trucks, live bands. Tickets are on sale now at winnipegfringe.com or in person at Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre on Market Avenue. The festival sells almost 80,000 tickets every year. 100% of the ticket price goes back to the performers. Meanwhile, Rainbow Stage is ready to rock, and their newest production will have you teasing your hair, putting on some neon, and digging through your parents' closets. Rock of Ages hits the stage in Kildonan Park this Thursday. The Broadway musical tells the love story of a small-town girl and a city boy set to a rockin' 80s soundtrack that will make you want to sing along.
Either if you love 80s music, it's a good show for you, or if you even don't love it that much, it's a place where you can fall in love with it a lot.
Featured bands include Journey, Quiet Riot, Poison, Whitesnake, and more. Rock of Ages runs from June 26th through July 12th. Tickets are available through Rainbow Stage's box office. A documentary film exploring the history of 2S LGBTQI+ rights in Canada makes its Manitoba premiere this weekend.
This is a time that requires that we be on the street to take up space.
The state would attack us. We were forced to respond. There was no choice.
That's the trailer for Parade, Queer Acts of Love and Resistance. It will be screened at a free event at the CMHR on Saturday. Beforehand, you'll get a chance to check out the museum's LGBT Purge exhibit, and afterwards, the documentary's creators will be taking part in a panel discussion and a Q&A. Doors open at 5 p.m. You can head to the CMHR's website to register. Your primetime lineup kicks off at 7 with The Big Bang Theory, followed by The Rookie, and E-Talk wraps up the night at 10:30. It's all right here on CTV.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
Quick look at tonight's almanac. Highest temperature of the day was 27. When that thunderstorm came through at 5 o'clock, we went from 27 to 20. We're back up to 25 now that the storm's passed. 12 degrees is our overnight low, partly cloudy. Mid-20s the next couple of days. Cloudy tomorrow, sunny Thursday. Friday, there's a risk of a thunderstorm. 28 degrees, 28 and sunny Saturday, 26 with a low chance of showers on Sunday.
Thanks, Colleen. Traffic came to a halt on a street in Burnaby, BC, as two bears demonstrated why they are at the top of the food chain. That's right. Two black bears stunned locals over the weekend as they engaged in a fierce, drawn-out brawl that was captured on camera. The bears appeared completely unconcerned by the growing number of vehicles stopping to watch, staying laser-focused on one another as they exchanged blows for about an hour.
It got intense at some points where they were like ripping each other's like fur out. I go for walks every day by this area, by the creek, and I think it's going to scare me now for a while.
Bears are known to fight over territory, dominance, or mating rights, but it's rare for it to play out in front of humans like this. Witnesses say the clash eventually subsided, and everyone will be happy to know that the bears simply just wandered back into the woods like nothing happened.
It's well that ends well, I suppose.
They got that out of their system, hopefully.
Yeah.
They can move on now.
On their way.
All right. That does it for us this evening. Have a good one. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night.